So sometimes when a person comes to therapy, they haven't quite figured out what their problem really is, but they know that they're struggling. They've not been able to find the language to articulate their problem accurately. And so one of the primary goals is to provide an environment that can enable this person to come up with a language to articulate clearly and accurately their problem. And so one of the ways to do it is to encourage the person to give as many examples of or interactions in which this problem occurs. And so the more examples they give, now you start assessing for correlations or connections or associations, or if there's an underlying pattern that is being repeated in different interactions. So you're making that assessment as they tell these stories. And once you come to understand that there's a pattern, there's a theme that is underlying these different interactions that are causing problems for the patient, then that's where you start with your problem. So let's take an example of a 25-year-old who comes and complains that their love life is not looking so good. They find themselves compulsively attracted to men who are unavailable to them, to men who don't want them. And they find that very attractive, very appealing. But they feel like it's a force that enters them, not necessarily them wanting. And it's frustrating because these men never give them the time of the day. And so they end up, being hurt at the end of that interaction or that chase. But they also have men who are interested in them, but they're not interested in these men. And so you try to listen to the different interactions and relationships that they've got into that haven't been successful. And you start noticing that these men who are interested in her are not providing her the conditions that she's looking for. So you might have got some information from her past that she experienced a number of traumatic events. She experienced some abuse from her parents. She had a parent who was very controlling. I mean, everything in her life was controlled up to the age of 18, and she felt suffocated. She didn't have any power to make any choices or decisions in her life. Someone to befriend, someone to talk to. Her parents decided all of those things for her. And so she really struggled with that for a long time. Maybe you find that she went through rape, and in that moment of that sexual abuse, she felt like someone took all the power out of her. She felt powerless, defenseless. She felt like she didn't have any control over her life. And so all these experiences got internalized and started developing a message in her that, or rather a desire in her that she wants to reclaim that power and control, or rather claim it. She wants to have some power and control. And so these men who are interested in her naturally, who are ready to give her the time of the day, are not presenting the challenge that she's looking for to be able to exert the power and control that she wants to. And so the ones who are unavailable, if she's able to convert a man who's unavailable into a man who's available to her, then she's able to exercise that power and control that she wants to have over another human being. So the thing that is driving her to go after men who are not interested in her is the desire, is the yearning, the craving to want to have power and control over another person. Converting them to what she wants them to be is what she's looking for. And so she's not really looking for a relationship with these men. They're probably not her type. But that compulsion that she was complaining about, that feeling that she's being drawn to these people, and in a manner that is unwanted, that is unwelcomed sometimes, is simply for her to feel like she has power and control over someone else. And so once we start seeing that pattern, then that's when we start understanding, oh, this is the problem. Now, how far does it go? How long has it been here? And then now the solutions start coming from there. So even if you haven't understood exactly what your problem is, one of the goals because the therapeutic goals differ from individual to individual, and sometimes they even differ from time to time, depending on the different problems that you're experiencing or you're struggling with. So even if you haven't quite figured out what your problems are, therapy can help you develop a language to try and understand what it is that you're being challenged by.